Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Brahma Mirastaparan Takare. Banushashi Bhumi Sito. Buddhasha Gurusha Shukra. Shani Rahu Keteva. Sarve Graha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om. Om Gurave Namaha. Well, greetings and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Kev 100. This is your weekly astro video zine where we take the planets known as grahas, the houses known as bhavas, and the signs of the zodiac known as rishis and make sense of it. Mostly in according to the tropical tradition, which is, by the way, based on seasons, not on constellations. And I do some Vedic astrology. That's how I do readings. That's mostly how I engage in people. But this is based on tropical, just to give you your commonly known as tropical forecast with my astrological knowledge spanning 40 years now. Anyhow, maybe even 41. I'm getting close to 41. Oh my gosh. No, I'm a lot older than that, but I am so grateful that you are here and that you people are special to me. This is why I share this stuff. This is for Friday, April 5th through, I guess, April 12th, 2024. So what are we looking at? I mean, it's a fairly explosive week. We're still in the middle of eclipse season here, and solar eclipses are more powerful than lunar eclipses. Now, we already saw some things happen with the lunar eclipse on oh gosh, remember the day now, but back in March, on that Monday in March. And now we're looking at a solar eclipse on Monday, April 8th. So both moon days, meaning emphasis on the moon. Right now, today, on Friday, we've got a Shadabishak moon. Shadabishak is 1,000 healers. So if you have some medical things you're taking care of today, it's probably a really good day to do that. Shadabishak is ruled by Rahu, or the north node of the moon, in Vedic astrology. It's all within the constellation of Aquarius. Now, when you're looking for the moon, you look in the constellation of Aquarius. Now, in Western astrology, this is commonly referred to as a Pisces moon, okay? So that position is based on something back in 150 AD. But because it's conveniently, we use seasons and planets aspects to seasons according to 0 degrees Aries on March 20th. That's basically what's going on. But the actual constellation that you're seeing is 6 degrees Pisces on that morning. So, yeah, because everything's shifted from 150 AD. And in India, they followed the shift. And here we fixed it to seasons. Although, people in Ireland and Scotland were doing the nakshatras, the lunar mansions, and Shadabishak, all within Aquarius. It's probably as Aquarius as can be. It's also about cloaking things and not revealing everything. Sometimes traps are set up in Shadabishak, so there's always this little bit, beware. Saturn rule moon. Where is Saturn? Saturn's in Shadabishak. So it's like a little sate. We're dealing with some of the harder, sadder things in some ways. And so that's might be part of it. But there's also could be medical breakthroughs and miracles. And, it's a time where maybe not everybody seems to be your friend and you're just kind of suspicious of motives too. I mean, I think that can happen too. So we'll go a little further. We'll talk about Monday and the solar eclipse at here Pacific Daylight Time in Chico. Actually happens at 11:20 a.m. to be exact. And the chart didn't look that bad. I mean, we do have Saturn and Mars together. And Saturn and Mars together are, it's kind of it's a warlike pattern, some would say. It's a sign of aggression. Mars is also Lord of the Earth. And Saturn tends to be a really earthy, basic, material, real planet, dealing with the real stuff in life. So we might hear about different Earth things. I mean, just today, I think in New York and in nearby Plumas County, there was an earthquake. Both places 4.8 on the Richter scale. There's some kind of message here with this, folks. So on Monday at 11:20, Moon will be in the constellation of Pisces, so will the Sun. It'll be at about 25 degrees. And the lunar mansion that it's going through is known as Revati. Now, Revati is ruled by Mercury. Revati is the last nakshatra in the Zodiac, okay? And it's the fish going in two different directions. And it's really like the crossroads where things begin new and things end. And it's also getting, closer to this knot in the Zodiac before a fire sign. It's not quite, we're not talking quite yet Gandanta, but it's a big deal. And we can see that. And so, and it goes from like, I think near Puerto Vallarta or Mazatlan, in, central Mexico, all the way up through Texas, over the Mississippi River Valley, up into the Great Lakes region, and up into Northeast Canada. It's quite phenomenal, this great North American eclipse. Also goes through 9 towns known as Nineveh. We talked about that maybe, and Yeshua, known as Jesus, Yeshua Bar Joseph, he predicted that the only sign you'll get in the last days is the sign of Jonah. So here's this eclipse happening kind of near this sign of the whale, it's actually called. And Nineveh was the city Jonah had to preach against to repent. And so, I mean, I'll go back to the old verse. If my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves, I will forgive them of their sins and heal their land. It's kind of paraphrased, but it's like if we get to a place of prayer and meditation during the eclipse and admit to the Most High God, we've blown it as a human race and we really need help. Otherwise, we know it's not going to be good for us and the rest of the world. And so I think there's a blessing in that. There's a blessing in this humbling. And even if the nation doesn't do it, okay? Even if the nations themselves, the Canada, the USA, Mexico, don't take that take as a whole, every one of you who does, you're going to get a cleansing in your life. You're going to get this reset to go through this next period of time, which might be a little rough and really test us. But I think some of the boldest hearts and the bravest spirits and lovers of truth are going to rise up after this, and that there could be an immense and amazing healing. It's a good time to fast. It's a good time to not do anything. Just chill out and have yourself as easy a day as possible. I don't recommend going out there to look at it. That's your game if you want to do that. I'm done eclipse seeking for now. So, this is like almost everything in Western astrology. This new moon is in Aries, which is considered to be the most violent sign in the Zodiac. I mean, it's not like I want to feed this type of thing, but just have an awareness. And also with Saturn and Mars together, this is just sort of like Mercury's retrograde. Communications may not be that great right now, but keep them good between your neighbors. Keep them good between your loved ones. Let's kind of like start there. Keep them good between yourself and your sense of what the divine is. That's going to bring you to that place. It's going to bring you to that light, and whatever you're following, try to get to the roots of it. Try to get to the root of what positive faith is and what a real belief is. And we'll just take it from there. And we'll start with your horoscope starting with Aries. Greetings, Aries. I mean, this is a super energetic time for you. There can't be any doubt about that. And more and more planets are going into your first house here. So that's where all the action is anyhow. And so there's a real conscious awareness of everything going on. So we're going to have, by Monday, we're going to have Moon in Aries. We're going to have Mercury in Aries. And Mercury retrograde, you know, always, that's something. North Node is in Aries. Mars is in Pisces. Jupiter's in Taurus. Saturn's in Pisces. Uranus in Taurus. Uranus and the Moon, I mean, and Jupiter really close to each other. I mean, Jupiter expands whatever planet it touches. And Uranus is sort of a planet of revolution and unexpected changes, and it rules electricity, and you know, just things could happen. And things do happen, and we don't have to sit on pins and needles. What we need to do is grow in our preparedness, our love for each other and community, our willingness to make sacrifice and respond in an appropriate way, and that's what's going to, you know, take us to the other side in a good way. And you know, with Mars is in, you know, in Pisces, so you have to watch your back too. You know, it's not like everything's all fresh and clear and good for you, but there is a certain kind of wealth expansion. There is some weird karma, and I mean, I think this weekend you can kind of gather with friends and get a blessing from them. Okay, greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. Yeah. Well, it's good in the social circle. You know, let's say that for the most part. I think for Taurus, it's like allowing yourself to sleep more, allowing yourself to get the rest you need to regenerate. And maybe you're going to have to not eat as many sweet treats, and you're going to have to kind of purge to get the kind of strength you want without depleting your strength. You know, avoiding seed oils and flour products, things like that. You know, just to get that positive reset that you need. And, you know, there's a lot of facing you from the public. And you're trying to react or act, don't react, but act positively to these forces around you. And it's not always easy. Greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, I mean, you're the one about communication. And you and Virgo are the ones I hear about when Mercury going retrograde, like, oh no, you know. It's in your 11th house. 11th house is a smart house. It's an intelligent house. It's a house that feeds good fortune. It helps you with wealth. It's going to help you with your social situation right now. And trust me, we need friends. So pay attention to your spiritual life too. Praying, meditating, getting a discipline going in that area. Even just writing a dream journal or a gratitude journal. All of those things could kind of propel your life forward to give you a lot more personal satisfaction and happiness. Greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. You know, everything, you know, for you too. We're looking a lot at the career house. Social life seems inspiring and fun. It seems like there's a lot of pressure on you in the workplace. How to work through this. There's some good fortune too. There's, you know, people that are kind of blessing you, you know, good teachers. Maybe your father's been good to you, or you're going on some kind of amazing trip that's teaching you things that you never thought you'd learned before. Those personal transformations at an all-time high. Well, I mean, there's not going to be an escape from that. You know, with Pluto in the 8th house, who are we kidding? Greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, for you, the way you look at relationships, the way you are in relationship is being transformed by Pluto. I mean, but, you know, where all the stuff is basically Pisces, Aries, 8th house, 9th house. So this is a real time to just say, revamp your spiritual life. Make a donation to help someone who's less fortunate, who's lost everything. go to some kind of spiritual group, a good church, temple, monastery, satsang, some house of worship that's uplifting and that you feel resonates with you. You know, where are you at? You know, if you're seeking sincerely, rumor has it the truth will come to you. And you're working hard, you're finding more inspiration in your work. If you're a teacher, this is a really good time for breakthroughs and maybe, you know, strange things happening at school that day. It's all possible. I mean, it's not an easy time. All those planets in your 8th house, there's just, you know, there's a lot that's not in your control, and you need to practice self-mercy and humility to ask for help when you need it. Well, hello, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. I mean, it's all about relationships for Virgo. Because it's like there's all this Pisces stuff. Now, Mars is there, and Mars, in a lot of Western astrology, says that this is the 7th house is relationships, but also can be the house of open enemies. And with Mars transiting there, you would think that might be the case. But what I'm noticing with this, and what I've heard from a Vedic teacher, Sanjay Rath, is that people with Mars transiting the 7th house or Mars in the 7th house in a natal chart are often real sweethearts. They become experts at diplomacy because that Venetian quality of the 7th house somehow can soften the Mars too. But the quickest way to get through criticism is just to be open to it and not to fight it. So, oh, yeah, I could understand how you see that. How you might see it that way. You know, thanks for your feedback, and then just kind of go, you know, and do with it what you want, really. There is this place too where deepening a love and a lot of things involving your loved one that may not be in your control, and a real fascination with the occult and the mystery sciences because of the 8th house being so loaded right now. Mercury North Node, I mean, this is where the eclipse happens for you. Yeah, I know. So this could be pretty transformational for Virgos, Virgo risings in particular. And it could be on a really positive scale too. You know, just do the spiritual work, look within, make the donation, put yourself ahead of the curve. Greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. Okay. Well, I mean, for you, just like Virgo, everything's relationship. And there is an element of transformation going on. I mean, this whole thing is going to affect partnerships. It's going to affect your career life in some ways, where you're working. And, you know, and so if you don't have to be at work that day, it might be a good day to just kind of take a day off, call in sick maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know people are relying on you. I know that Mercury is retrograde. And so, you know, technology sometimes is a way of going out, but it's also like slow down and do some earnest, humble, methodical learning. And the best way to do that is to keep it simple. You know, keep everything simple. Do not complicate it any more than it needs to be complicated. Oh, and you could find new love. I mean, there is that possibility. Love is everywhere, folks. Okay. All right. Now, because, yeah, Venus is moving into your 7th house. La, la, la. Okay, greetings, Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. You know, Mars ruled Aries. You know, you're a Mars ruled sign. So they have a certain kind of affinity for each other. You know, maybe for the Aries, Scorpio's not moving quick enough. You know, not youthful enough. Not restless enough. And maybe for Scorpio, it's like, you know, Aries, does everything have to be like a fight or a challenge or a battle? Don't you realize that, you know, there's other ways to win your battles and direct confrontation, and that having a little bit of subtlety and perhaps even know about praying for people and changing your view of the situation, working with the transformative energy and the intuitive energy. You know, that's the way you do it. And Aries rules your 6th house, which can be obstacles. You know, it's not always like, this is easy. So also for you, make a donation, spend a lot of time in prayer, maybe even fasting. I think fasting is a good 6th house remedy where this eclipse happens, and just quiet everything down. Just, there's a certain stillness that happens in an eclipse. It's a really special place metaphysically for prayer time. I don't care what your faith is. I mean, I just want you to be in that right place of the Almighty, in the sincerest place in your heart, so that you can know divine truth in a way that permeates your whole being, cleanses you from all unrighteousness, and gives you that feeling of eternal life. And see what happens. I don't know. The language is strange, I'll have to admit. And it's still kind of introspect time for Scorpio. It gets even more introspect for Sagittarius, although, like, it's in your 5th house. So anything that happens in the eclipse, likely if you have children, it's going to affect your children. If you're a teacher, an artist producing something, your production is going to be affected by this. But overall, you're in a pretty much luckier, good fortune place. You're going to be all right. I don't see things as super negative. You do really well with Aries energy in general. I mean, there's a little bit of ungroundedness and uncomfortableness with where you currently live that you're trying to change, and you're trying to stabilize, and you're trying to make things better. And I think that's it. And just like I said to Virgo and the Scorpio, I think, like, making a donation will kind of help make some energy shifts for you in this time that will bring some good fortune. Greetings, Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope. Saturn ruled. Everything's 3rd house. What is the 3rd house Karaka? Its activator is Mars for some reason. And what happens is 3rd house brings us courage, even though it's about communication, it's about working with our hands, it's about our siblings, it's about things that happen to us in life, probably from about age 14 to about 21. We get all curious about the world, our neighbors, short trips, little excursions here and there, writing, messaging, texting, all that type of stuff. Also, painting, playing guitar, piano, any kind of musical craft or visual art is going to be enhanced during this area. Now, the eclipse happens in your home. It happens like with family. It might be affecting older adults in your family, father, mother, parents. I mean, what are as the sun and the moon are somewhat symbolic of parents. It's sort of like the king and queen of the Zodiac. It can be significant of the father and the mother energy. And so I think in your chart especially. So we're looking to deepen our love, beautify our homes, be ready for any kind of transformation to take place. A lot of that eclipse goes down Tornado Alley. I was thinking, it is kind of like, I don't know. There was an earthquake in St. Louis too, area I heard, there was an earthquake. I think there was an earthquake in Missouri, earthquake in the New York, New Jersey kind of metropolitan area, 4.8, and here in rural Northern California on the other side of the continent, we had a 4.8 earthquake here in Plumas County. It's just like, well, everything's shaking. Aquarius, you're like the sign that's the most comfortable with a shake, and all of this affects siblings, your way of communicating. It affects your methodology of writing, and also affects your siblings, maybe close friends that you grew up with, your ability to be mobile, take short trips and things. I mean, I'm recommending quietude, but I also think, like, for you, if you were like inside just reflecting on thoughts during the eclipse, or just, and writing them down, something really cool is going to happen and take place. Maybe you'll write your best song here, or you'll have some breakthrough. And the energy isn't always just, oh yeah, 11:20, Pacific Daylight Time in the morning, I should have been on it, or 1:20 if it's Central Time, or 2:20 if you're in Eastern Standard Time. I mean, or Eastern Daylight Time. We're all going to go through it, okay? We're all going to see things. I think the central point of the country, though, it does look really ominous and potent, and I'm not really sure, though. That's the good part. I don't have to be sure. I can just learn from this. This is going to be a great learning to observe this for all of us, right? We're here to learn. as Mercury retrograde reminds us. Greetings, Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so, I mean, I guess it's a period where it's always best to hold our tongues. You know, I've been following some like Orthodox Christian kind of mystic stuff, and there it's this quietude, living a life of gratitude and simplicity and non-blaming, not blaming anybody. I thought, wow, this is good stuff. You know, this is really deep stuff. And it's easy to get, you know, for the Pisces psychology to have this kind of martyr and, oh, it's happening to me. You don't want to be lost in that space, you know. The dreaminess. The dreaminess is kind of nice. It's sort of fun, but Mars is in your first house, so it's like this is a time where you're taking action. You're being a little bit more motivated. The eclipse could affect family members. It could affect your neck, you know, your lower jaw, definitely your pocketbook, and what you value. Those whom you hold dear and the material things you hold dear. So having good values is definitely going to help during this period. And you know, none of us are going to get away from this whole thing scot-free. We're all going to feel, I think, some kind of either like a pinch or a smoke screen or something strange from all of this, but we could emerge from it victorious, refreshed into something positive and new if we take the time to fast and pray and just really try to get right in our souls and join others who have that kind of consciousness of purifying ourselves. I really think that's the message, is that we've got to do better with less, and the real battle is within. You know, it's not about other people. It's carrying our own happiness and peace of mind. We become a light for the whole world, and it elevate others in our presence just by that joyfulness. So I'm wishing you lots of joy, lots of love, lots of peace, lots of success during this week, during the eclipse, during all you do, during Mercury retrograde, that there's some special blessings. Keep journals, write them down, let me know in the comments. I love you, I feel you, I know you're there, and thank you so much for being there. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Tat Sat.